annual event that just a few weeks ago, including picking up trash, planting landscaping, cleaning our local elementary school. All this is to say you didn't slow down for COVID. This class, your class, met the struggle with purpose, with conviction for our values of humanism and professionalism. You've done so much to advance health justice in our school, our university, and our community through your research, service, and advocacy. You've shown us that the struggle was worth it. Now, as you go on from Tufts, my hope is that you continue to hold on to what drew you to Tufts, and I'm going to offer you a little bit of advice. First, embrace lifelong learning. Believe it or not, your education doesn't end with graduation. This is just the beginning. Medicine and science are changing so fast. Commit yourself to continuous learning and professional development throughout your career. Practice empathy. Your patients are not textbook cases to be solved or moments to learn, but individuals trusting you for their well-being. Your colleagues sharing a grant are not just a name on paper, but equally curious and dynamic humans. Put on your oxygen mask first. This is something my husband taught me. You need to prioritize your own needs before you can help other people. As healers, it's very easy to neglect our own well-being in service of others. Remember to prioritize your self-care and maintain a healthy work-life balance as much as you can, because you can't effectively care for others if you're running on empty. Stay humble. There will be times when you don't have the answers, or when treatments or your research don't go as planned. Admitting that you don't know something and seeking collaboration and help from colleagues is a sign of strength, not weakness. Continue your fight for equity and justice. Use your voice and privilege to stand up for marginalized communities and promote health equity. Advocate for equitable healthcare access for all. Build and nurture strong relationships. Medicine is a team sport, and collaboration is key to providing the best possible care. Cultivate meaningful relationships and connections with your colleagues, mentors, and patients. Most importantly, find and celebrate the joy in your work. Despite the challenges, and this is a challenging career you're embarking on, look for the joy in discovery and in caring for your patients. I hope you always remember what a privilege it is to care for patients, and make sure you stop and feel those rewards. You're going to be present, you probably already have been present at the best and worst times in people's lives. You're going to hear their innermost secrets and serve as an incredible source of strength in ways you won't always immediately appreciate, but take the time to feel it. And finally, invest in the most precious asset you have, your time. Use it wisely for your patients, your research, and your career, but above all, invest in your family and friends. Their confidence in you, their love for you as you see today is unbreakable. They will hold you up and carry you through everything. Now let's turn and formally recognize all you've worked for and committed to, surrounded by those who believe in you, who buttress you with pride and confidence. Congratulations to you, incredible class of 2024.
It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Michael Chin, Dean ad interim of the School of Graduate Biomedical Sciences.
Good morning. Today we celebrate this year's 38 GSBS graduates, 29 of whom are walking in today's ceremony. Today represents the culmination of a dream to acquire exceptional knowledge and scientific skill in a biomedical research discipline. Today is only happening because of their engagement, their passion, their diligence, and dedication in collaboration with and with the support of the GSBS faculty and staff. I also know that there are many other stories of support from parents, spouses, partners, classmates, and friends who helped make today possible and who join us today to celebrate. This is a day of glory and of dreams realized for all of our graduates and their families and friends. Graduates, we applaud your achievements and your hard work as you reach the final milestone of your graduate education and earn a PhD, MS, or MD PhD degree. To the class of 2024, it is important to underscore the significance of your achievements. Your achievements place you in the top 1% of the intellectual community in the world. Your leadership is crucial as we face the threat of future global health crises and unmet healthcare needs. Your deep knowledge of biomedical science can inform and influence public policy. Thus, it is important that you be ambassadors for science to the public at large and to remind them of the value of science for the public good, and also to recruit future generations of scientists to the scientific workforce. You all know the value of a talented scientific workforce because you have been part of it and have adapted and succeeded through a pandemic that just began as you are beginning your careers, requiring all of you to make many adjustments to the circumstances that you never could have foreseen. Your resilience, adaptability, and scientific skills will serve you well as you embark on the next chapter of what will likely be long and successful careers. You have accomplished great science, from understanding the fundamental mechanisms underlying cancer and neurodegenerative disease, helping to develop new treatments for illnesses both rare and widespread, and exploring the complex, multi-scale interplay of genes, proteins, signaling molecules, cells, tissues, organs, and organ systems in the pathogenesis of disease. In addition to fostering your excellence in science, the GSBS continues our mission to promote diversity and welcome those from all backgrounds. A scientific community that encompasses different backgrounds and cultures enriches the field immeasurably. I am proud of our administration, faculty, and students for their continuing efforts to recruit and welcome students from underrepresented groups to our school. Our pathway programs, PrEP and BDBS, conceived for this very purpose, continue to be strong and robust. A sure sign of the success of our recruitment efforts is reflected in our graduating class, which includes Christian Russa, who participated in our PrEP program before matriculating as a PhD student. For those of you who don't know, Christian is the winner of this year's GSBS Dean's Award for distinction in research on the basis of his outstanding PhD thesis. Now, this commencement is special for me in that it is my first as GSBS Dean. It's also a day of first for many of you. Many of you are the first in your families to go to college, first in your families to get a graduate degree, first scientist in the family, and many of you are starting your first professional jobs. As my first year ends, I must share with you how I've been invigorated by the strength of the GSBS community. The dedication and commitment of the GSBS students in working closely with the faculty and staff is a model of cooperation. The deanship traditionally is a position of service, with the goal of providing the best service, first and foremost, to our students, but also to our faculty and staff. The students embody every reason we're gathered here today and every hope and potential for a better tomorrow. It is my ongoing privilege and pleasure to serve Tufts, GSBS, and especially our students, and to see them reach their potential and become excellent, rigorous biomedical scientists. I look forward to watching you all become leaders across academia and industry as you transition to successful alumni. Our alumni are leaders in biomedical organizations around the world, but especially in Boston, the hub of biomedicine. Of equal or even greater importance is that our alumni are also compassionate and kind human beings dedicated to making the world a better place. As you go forth, I wish you every success and happiness. As you leave, remember that you will always be part of the Tufts family. We look forward to hearing of your many accomplishments as you blaze a path into a brighter future. On behalf of the entire Tufts community, I applaud you.
I will now present certificates to the distinguished faculty members from the School of Medicine who have been granted emeritus status in recognition of their loyal and devoted service. Dr. Broder, please join me at the podium. It gives me great pleasure to recognize the emeritus status of Dr. Peter H. Broder, Professor of Medical Education Emeritus. Dr. Broder's journey at Tufts began in 1975 when he joined the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences as a PhD student, earning his PhD in immunology in 1980. He completed postdoctoral training as a fellow at the Institute for Cancer Research at the Fox Chase Cancer Center in Philadelphia and returned to join the Tussum faculty in 1985 in the Department of Pathology. He joined the Department of Immunology in 2017, just prior to being named chair of the new Department of Medical Education in 2018. Dr. Broder has been an active member of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences Immunology program and the Genetics, Molecular, and Cellular Biology program throughout his career. In June of 2018, Dr. Broder was promoted to the academic rank of professor. Dr. Broder made significant contributions to research. Dr. Broder's lab conducted NIH-funded research focused on immunoglobulin gene organization and expression. His work was published in top journals, including the EMBO Journal, Journal of Experimental Medicine, and the Journal of Immunology. He mentored 7 PhD students during the early years of his career, and at the time of his promotion, the subcommittee was impressed by the training of his former graduate students who had become productive researchers at major institutions. As recently as 2019, he had a Tussum's Innovation and Education Research Grant as a co-PI. He holds memberships in several professional societies and was an associate editor of the Journal of Immunology. As chair of the Department of Medical Education, Dr. Broder was known as an outstanding leader who was invested in the growth and development of his department. His impactful leadership was evident as he played a critical role in reshaping the medical school curriculum while co-chairing the Educational Strategic Plan Steering Committee, culminating in the introduction of our new curriculum in 2019 for the MD program. He is a current member of 9 Tussum committees, including chair of the MBS admissions program, chair of the Medical Student Research Committee on Summer Research Fellowships, and an ex officio member of the Curriculum Committee. He served on the MD admissions committee for over 20 years, making him the longest-serving active participant. That is a labor of love, students. From 2016 to 2012, Dr. Broder contributed significantly to the school's curriculum committee, culminating in assuming the role of chair in 2011. Dr. Broder's teaching at Tufts was substantial and impactful. He is well respected by faculty, students, and peers. Dr. Broder has been an outstanding medical educator. He was awarded the 2024 Distinguished Adjunct Faculty of the Year Award in the Physician Assistant Program at Tussum, and just last week, he received a Distinguished Career in Teaching Award from the MD class of 2024, our graduates. Dr. Broder was awarded Outstanding Lecturer 14 years in a row, Outstanding Small Group Instructor, and received numerous other awards, including the notable Alumni Award for Distinguished Contributions to Biomedical Sciences, the Dean's Award for Lifetime Excellence in Teaching from the Public Health and Professional Degree Programs in 2018, several Excellence in Teaching Awards from both MDS and MD students, and the Dean's Award for Excellence in Basic Science Teaching. He has taught numerous courses and served as course director for the Immunology MBS course for 12 years and was director of the Immunology module of Internal Medicine in the Physician Assistant Program. A former student said, "Peter is one of the best classroom teachers I have had in graduate school or college. He's been an excellent graduate advisor, challenging me when I needed to progress, nurturing and supporting me when things were tough." A former Tussum dean said, "Dr. Broder is the consummate medical educator. His dedication to teaching and mentoring at Tufts Medical School, Dental School, Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences, and Veterinary School over the last 30 years has been impressive." Dr. Broder will retire from Tufts University School of Medicine on June 30th, 2024. We honor Dr. Broder's enduring commitment to medical education, as well as his dedication to academic leadership and his profound impact on students and teaching at Tufts University School of Medicine. His contributions to the School of Medicine for 39 years have been outstanding. Congratulations, Dr. Broder. Dr. Schetz, please join me at the podium. I'm now honored to recognize the emeritus status of Dr. David J. Schetz, Jr., Professor of Surgery Emeritus. Dr. Schetz earned his BA from the College of the Holy Cross and his MD from the Medical College of Wisconsin, where he was elected to the Alpha Omega Alpha Honor Society. Dr. Schetz completed his internship and residency in general surgery at Boston University Medical Center and pursued fellowship training in colon and rectal surgery at Leahy Clinic. Following his training, Dr. Schetz held an academic appointment at Boston University School of Medicine for several years prior to joining the faculty at Tufts University School of Medicine in 1996. In 1999, Dr. Schetz was promoted to professor of surgery at Tufts, and he served as Tufts academic dean at Leahy Hospital and Medical Center from 2006 to 2016, where he also practiced colorectal surgery throughout his esteemed career. During his years at Tussum, Dr. Schetz demonstrated profound contributions to scientific leadership and scholarship. He was engaged in numerous studies and clinical trials and was awarded the Eleanor Naylor Dana Charitable Trust grant to establish a registry for familial adenomatous polyposis and hereditary non-polyposis colorectal cancer. Dr. Schetz also mentored a generation of colon and rectal surgeons, and his efforts were widely recognized in 2006 when he received the American Society of Colon and Rectal Surgeons Research Foundation Mentors Award. Dr. Schetz has shown exemplary academic leadership and institutional service at Leahy and at Tufts. He served as chair of the Department of Colon and Rectal Surgery at Leahy for 15 years, as the fellowship program director for 10 years, and he was the inaugural Tufts academic dean at Leahy. His extensive institutional committee service includes serving as the chief academic officer at Leahy, member of the Board of Governors, and chair of the Leahy Graduate Medical Education Committee. He has also served on numerous Tufts committees, including the Education Executive Committee, the LCME Self-Study Committee, where he co-chaired, the Basic Tenure and Promotions Committee, and the Clinical Promotions Committee, which he chaired for 6 years. Dr. Schetz is recognized nationally, locally, and institutionally for his extensive contributions to leadership, service, and medical education. He has established a national reputation and is widely recognized as an authority and one of the leading colon rectal surgeons in the United States. Dr. Schetz served on the editorial board of numerous journals, including as associate editor of inflammatory bowel diseases and as editor-in-chief of seminars in colon and rectal surgery for over 20 years. He's been a member of 22 professional societies, including as president of the Boston Surgical Society and the American Board of Colon and Rectal Surgery. Dr. Schetz has presented an incredible number, 347, local, regional, national, and international events. He has an impressive publication record with over 170 peer-reviewed papers, 28 book chapters, and nearly 100 other publications, including abstracts and book reviews. Dr. Schetz's teaching involvement at Tufts was substantial and impactful. He was actively involved in resident and medical student training and education. Among his numerous teaching awards, he received the Tussum Excellence in Teaching Award in the surgery clerkship for 5 consecutive years. He received the Samuel L. Moschella Educator of the Year Leahy Clinic Award and the Tufts Milton O. and Natalie V. Zucker Clinical Teaching Prize for accomplishment. A former student who completed his fellowship at Leahy remarked, "It was Dr. Schetz who inspired me to become a colon and rectal surgeon with his invigorating way of teaching surgery." Dr. Jason Hall, chair of surgery at Tufts, noted, "It is difficult to summarize such an illustrious career. Perhaps the best way to do that is to tell you the effect that David Schetz had on my career. He encouraged me to consider the colorectal training program at Leahy. When a job opening became available, he recruited me to stay on as staff at Leahy. He took a keen interest in my development as a surgeon, leader, researcher, and educator. I also know that he has done this for many others, no matter their academic level or promise." Dr. Schetz will retire from Tufts University School of Medicine on June 30, 2024. We honor Dr. Schetz's enduring commitment to the field of surgery, as well as his dedication to the academic and institutional leadership at Tufts and medical education at Tufts University School of Medicine. His contributions to the medical school for 28 years have been outstanding. Congratulations. Thank you. Dr. Wilson, please join me at the podium. It is my honor to recognize the emeritus status of Dr. Robert F. Wilson, Associate Professor of Medical Education Emeritus. Dr. Wilson earned his AB degree from Harvard College, his MS in Earth and Planetary Science from MIT, and began his long tenure at Tufts in 1979 when he earned his PhD in physics. Dr. Wilson joined the Tufts faculty as a research associate in the Department of Physics and Astronomy in 1979, and in 1993 came to Tussum as technical director of the Imaging Core at the Center for Reproductive Research. In 1994, Dr. Wilson was promoted to Research Assistant Professor of Anatomy and Cellular Biology at Tufts Medical School, maintaining a secondary appointment throughout his career in the Department of Physics and Astronomy. In 2018, Dr. Wilson joined the newly created Department of Medical Education as an associate professor on the educator track. Indisputably, Dr. Wilson's most impactful role at Tussum has been as director of the clinical anatomy course for MD and MBS students, and he also had a significant role in guiding the students each year in the organization and execution of a memorial service, a celebration of life, to honor the donors to Tufts Anatomical Gift Program. Dr. Wilson's career interests and research interests mainly involved investigations of the sun's outer atmosphere, the solar corona, to understand the origin and evolution of large-scale magnetic fields. He obtained research funding from NASA, the National Science Foundation, the U.S. Air Force Office of Scientific Research, and the American Astronomical Society. Dr. Wilson has presented numerous papers at scientific meetings and has authored 87 peer-reviewed publications. He is a member of several professional societies and has served on peer review committees for both the National Science Foundation and NASA. Dr. Wilson's contributions to Tussum teaching and learning have been substantial and impactful. His dedication to Tufts learners is remarkable. He has been a member of the Tussum Masters of Biomedical Sciences Curriculum Committee, a member of the Tussum Education Strategic Planning Committee, and a member of the Tussum Medical School Curriculum Committee. Dr. Wilson was a major contributor to the creation and success of the Tufts MBS program, where he has taught in several courses since its inception 17 years ago. He developed, directed, and taught the MBS anatomy course, designing a course that used virtual imaging software. Dr. Broder remarked, Dr. Wilson is on campus virtually every school day of the year, working in the lab and in his office and preparing for his teaching of medical, dental, and MBS students. Dr. Wilson has served as the Tussum course director of the medical anatomy course since 2004, 20 years. As noted by a colleague, Dr. Wilson has been an exceptional colleague and teacher. Clinical anatomy is unquestionably the most complex course in our medical school's curriculum. Dr. Wilson coordinated a dozen faculty members for many years, including adjunct faculty from Harvard Medical School and clinical faculty from Tufts. He represented this key course through multiple LCME visits and several revisions of the MD program's curriculum. His gift is to listen and always work collaboratively to provide students with the best quality education. In recognition of his efforts, Dr. Wilson has received the Tussum Excellence in Teaching Award 11 times and was honored with the Teaching with Technology Award from Tufts Educational Technology Services in 2022. And last Wednesday was recognized by your class with the Distinguished Career in Teaching Award. Dr. Wilson will retire from Tufts University School of Medicine on June 30th, 2024. We honor Dr. Wilson's enduring commitment to medical education, as well as his dedication to institutional service and teaching at Tufts University School of Medicine. His contributions to the medical school for 31 years have been outstanding. Congratulations. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce Gillian Brandt, President of the graduating medical school class, who will give the keynote address.
Thank you, Dean Beecher-Linds, and thank you all for being here to celebrate with us today. M24, we finally made it. Thank God. It has been a privilege to serve as your class president and witness our growth from future doctors to the official doctors we are becoming today. We went from cameras off Zoom socials to attending each other's weddings and meeting each other's babies. We've had countless game nights, soup Sundays, traveled together, laughed and danced together, and probably cried together. We built those strong friendships and then had the unique experience of seeing each other grow as professionals, too. My friend who always orders late-night Chinese food now walks into my OR to do the nerve block on my patient. Another friend started M3 by accidentally locking herself in the hospital stairwell and is now moving across the country to help underserved communities. We've come a long way from getting lost in the hospital to actually running it. Still, it's almost hard to believe that we're doctors now. On our first day of medical school, we knew so little that they had to give us a lecture on high-volume learning titled How to Drink Water Through a Fire Hose. Some of us, after that, went to shadow in the ED and saw an attending who took one look at a patient's leg and told us that patient had a blood clot in her lungs. We wondered if we would ever reach that level. We felt incredulous, maybe a little disbelief, but in medical school, we have a term for it, imposter syndrome. And if you're anything like me, to deal with that, you adopt a fake it till you make it attitude, pushing through that self-doubt, uncertainty. But as the years went by, something remarkable happened. We started to realize that we weren't faking it at all. We were learning, growing, becoming more competent every day. Those moments of doubt were balanced by moments of success, whether it was doing well on a practice shelf exam, successfully performing your first intubation without knocking out a tooth, or simply offering comfort to a patient in need. We began to see our feelings as those of stepping out of our comfort zones. Every time we felt like we were faking it, we were actually taking a step closer to becoming the doctors we aspired to be. There's another term for that, for being scared witless, but doing something anyway. Bravery. I bring this up because those nerves aren't going to disappear now that we've graduated medical school. If anything, they might get worse, but let me assure you, we're all a little scared. And that's okay. Being scared means that you care deeply about your patients, and you are self-aware enough to know that you don't know everything. You're still learning. Some level of nervousness is valid and speaks much more to your compassion and empathy than to any skill level. Think about medical school. You felt scared the whole way, and here you are sitting at your MD commencement. It may be hard sometimes for me to believe that I'm a doctor now, but I have a trick for that. See, I believe that you all are doctors now. I've seen the dedication and hard work. I've seen you evolve. I've seen the amount of caffeine you've consumed. I've seen how your Uber Eats delivery address defaults to MedEd. I've seen you wake up bleary-eyed and still show up at the hospital every day, treating people with kindness and compassion. And that's what a doctor looks like to me. I thought about ending by hyping you up about joining the real world. I won't. Not because I don't want you hyped, but the real world isn't some future destination. We've been here. We've been living here all along, and we are ready for whatever comes our way. So believe that you are doctors, because I believe in you. Congratulations, class of 2024. We've got this.
It is my pleasure to introduce Wenhui Li, a candidate for the degree of Master of Science, who will give the student address for the Graduate School of Biomedical Science.
Greetings, friends, family, faculty, staff, alumni, and illustrious class of 2024. Congratulations in being in this room. We did it! Yeah! I am deeply honored to share my reflections as a student at the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences at Tufts University. As a first-generation college student and the first in my family to study abroad, I'm so proud of myself for reaching where I am today. So are my parents, who started learning a new language in their 60s to try to understand what I am talking about at this commencement. At Tufts, the first lesson I learned from the lab was how to handle mice. Prior to that, the only rodent I have ever touched was my college roommate's cute hamster. That hamster is so cute. It convinced me that all rodents are like this. I never thought I would describe them as strong until the first time one of the mice jumped out of the cage like a popcorn. Although I caught its tail in a split second, I was shocked and impressed for a very long time. Can I do better than this mice? I won't try to jump over a wall several times taller than me, so am I brave enough to challenge myself to step out of my comfort zone? This became the question I often asked myself, and Tufts became the place where I could try new things I have never done before. From the early morning classes to the late night study sessions fueled by caffeine and determination, from the very first day in the lab to being the very last person in the building treating cells, from the frustration caused by many failures during experiments to the excitement for every single success. Each experience has left an indelible mark on my journey. It is through these experiences that we have honed our skills, deepened our understandings, and discovered the resilience within ourselves. None of us has walked this journey alone. We gained hands-on experiences from our mentors, who were so patient with us to show us every single step in an experiment. We received excellent guidance from our advisors, who pointed out our strengths and weaknesses and provided wonderful suggestions on our career path. We grasped a wealth of knowledge from our professors, whose wisdom and dedication have illuminated our path in the unknown. I cannot count how many times Dr. Greenblatt pointed us to answer questions in classes and journal clubs, helping us actively participate and digest materials. In addition, the friendship and collaboration from lab mates made our work fun and enjoyable. Whether sharing tricks on doing a tissue staining or a pat on the shoulder when someone messed up on an experiment and murmured, "Everything hurts on every single day." This reminds us that science is not just about discovery, but about relationships forged along the way. In the pursuit of scientific inquiry, each of us has embarked on a unique journey, driven by curiosity, passion, and relentless pursuit of knowledge. Today, well-designed and conducted experiments, confident and fluent presentations, published papers and manuscripts, all of these accomplishments testify to our unwavering dedication and boundless potential. But our achievements extend beyond the confines of laboratory walls. We come from different backgrounds and cultures, with different experiences, and bringing a unique perspective to the community. It is this diversity that enriches our discussions, broadens our horizons, and inspires us to strive for excellence together. As we stand on the threshold of new beginnings, it's time to equip ourselves with everything we learned at Tufts, jump like popcorn into the wider world. and embrace infinite opportunities. We are ready to step forward with the spirit of curiosity and the pursuit of excellence. We are ready to push the boundaries of our comfort zones and challenge ourselves to unknown adventures. We learn from failures. We celebrate success. If this is not courage, I don't know what is. Congratulations, graduates. May we always step up to seize every opportunity and dive in headfirst into the whirlwind of endless possibilities. Let our passions ignite like fireworks, propelling us towards our dreams. Class of 2024, go forth and shine. Thank you.
Diplomas will now be presented to the degree candidates of the School of Medicine. Will the candidates for the combined degrees of Doctor of Medicine and Master of Arts in International Relations, Doctor of Medicine and Master of Business Administration, and Doctor of Medicine and Master of Public Health please rise and proceed to the stage to receive their diplomas? Dean Boucher will now present the diplomas to the candidate who has completed the combined Doctor of Medicine and Master of Arts in International Relations degree program. Dr. Amy Kulik, Dean of Student Affairs, will announce the candidate's name. Dr. Mary Brown, Associate Dean of Students, and Dr. Amy Lee, Dean of Admissions, will hood the candidate.
Dr. Joseph Stanley Pica.
Dr. Paul Benninger, Director of the MD MBA program, will now join Dean Boucher in presenting diplomas to the candidates who have completed the combined Doctor of Medicine and Master of Business Administration degree program.
Dr. Andrew Richard Bork. Dr. Christiane Gonzalez Davison. Dr. Thomas Howe. Dr. Delaney Catherine Johnson. Dr. Caroline Liang Enzer. Dr. Annalise Jenna McDonald. Dr. William Patrick Nicholson. Dr. David Anton Pozowatz. Dr. Gabriel Schlager. Dr. Kali Jessica Sullivan.
Dr. Libby Bradshaw, Assistant Professor of Public Health and Community Medicine, will now join Dean Boucher in presenting diplomas to candidates who have completed the Doctor of Medicine and Master of Public Health degree program.
Dr. Jacob Enrique Borenstein. Dr. Rachel Ariel Brandes. Dr. Madison Kamerlingi. Dr. Anna Kafitz Dowd. Dr. Joshua Henry Drake. Dr. Daniel Ho-Jun Kim. Dr. Emma Lampropoulos. Dr. Abigail Lee Lebovitz. Dr. Laura Lodolo. Dr. Jacqueline Lee Mosier. Dr. Zoe Parisian Jeppesen. Dr. Kavita Prasad. Dr. Alana Rosina Sanford. Dr. Ashka Bharat Shah. Dr. Jessica Deborah Simon. Dr. Vahe Stepan Yakubian.
Will the candidates from the main track program please rise and proceed to the stage to receive their diplomas? Dr. Linda Shodrin, Vice President for Medical Education at Maine Medical Center, will now join Dean Boucher in presenting diplomas to the Doctor of Medicine candidates who have completed the main track program. Dean Brown and Dr. Dina Weitzel, Assistant Dean for students in the main track, will hood the candidates. The first 4 candidates have received a combined degree.
Dr. Darren Scott LaPointe. Dr. Mackenzie Clark McRae. Dr. Nicole Moore. Dr. Ryan Mitchell Bloom. Dr. Austin Wayne Brown. Dr. Bailey Blue Carter. Dr. Madeline Margaret Chase. Dr. Jillian Elizabeth Coates. Dr. Charlotte Elizabeth Christ. Dr. Brendan John Sear. Dr. Zachary Richard Duperry. Dr. Thompson Sampson Farrar. Dr. Caitlin Rose Peterson Brown. Dr. Emma Freeman. Dr. Logan Benjamin Gerchman. Dr. Emily Frances Glinovich. Dr. Thomas Joseph Lajoie. Dr. William Morin Levesque. Dr. Ranjana Lingutla. Dr. Melanie Brooke Mate. Dr. Allison Diana Middleberger. Dr. Shivani Patel. Dr. Olivia Caroline Pearson. Dr. Haley Aruda Perkins. Dr. Amanda Louise Pomeroy. Dr. Samuel Reed. Dr. Lucy Thorne Soul. Dr. Meredith Emery Stanhope. Dr. Benjamin B. Stone. Dr. Charu Tiwari. Dr. Bailey Ann Urbach. Dr. Rain Langlois Witten. Dr. Judy Ann Yao. Dr. Christian Patrick Zwerner.
Will the first row of candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine please rise and proceed to the stage to receive your diploma? Dean Boucher will now present diplomas to the candidates who have completed the Doctor of Medicine degree program.
Dr. Yao Ofori Abu, Jr. Dr. Tamim Asan. Dr. Shrey Pradeep Ambe. Dr. Kendall Larissa Atkins. Dr. Margaret Laura Bayless. Dr. Lindsay Taylor Bell. Dr. Blake Bewley. Dr. Edward Craig Bickham. Dr. Naira Shilau Blenheim. Dr. William Breckenridge Bradford. Dr. Shayla Brown. Dr. Jad Tayag Basat. Dr. Mickey Calderon. Dr. Michael Francis Cassidy. Dr. Catherine Laura Sabula. Dr. Iris Tingyun Chan. Dr. Kevin Chang. Dr. Gillian Conant Brandt. Dr. Daisy Chen. Dr. Jeronia Cherry. Dr. Netta Kudkovich. Dr. Brian Dang. Dr. Brandon Christopher David. Dr. Alejandro Isaac Delgado. Dr. Samuel Alexander Ding. Dr. Emily Rose Disler. Dr. Mohammed Manan Durrani. Dr. Tristan Jacob Elias. Dr. Brian Peter Fenn. Dr. Matthew Jacob Finn. Dr. Emma Pearl Fleischer. Dr. Brittany Nicole Flores. Dr. Ariana Sarah Ginsberg. Dr. Liana Katyulani Gonzalez. Dr. Emily Dubuque Gressing. Dr. Alfredo Gutierrez Valles. Dr. John Jongyu Han. Dr. Madison Tate Hayes Latin. Dr. Jillian Lee Haywood. Dr. Cade Aaron Herman. Dr. Emmy Satya Hirsch. Dr. Caitlin Talene Horton. Dr. Erin Mara Hurley. Dr. Soraya Fatima Husseini. Dr. Michael Hyun. Dr. Brian Jenkin. Dr. Nicholas Kakos. Dr. Diana Shiok Kim. Dr. Christina Marie Kraus. Dr. Jean Kwan. Dr. Ashley Milan Latona. Dr. Stephen Adam Lebreton. Dr. Jae Hyun Lee. Dr. James Nicholas Lee. Dr. Sarah Lee. Dr. Zachary Ivan Lee. Dr. Olivia Catherine Lucy. Dr. Sankirth Matabushi. Dr. Sean Marokian. Dr. Elaine Mann. Dr. Shreya Mehta. Dr. Sebastian Mayato. Dr. Alexandra Casey Mendelson. Dr. Karan Modi. Dr. Mia Elise Malagusis. Dr. Sheila Wanjiro Mwangi. Dr. Dylan Fox Newman. Dr. Melanie Tara Nisenson. Dr. Theodora O'Leary. Dr. Christina Ortiz. Dr. Daniel George Dobeck Packard. Dr. Elizabeth Joy Pagura. Dr. Molly Joanne Perrys. Dr. Stephen Catalano. Dr. Sagar Patel. Dr. Tina Lee Fan. Dr. Dina Michelle Poplowski. Dr. Joshua Prohl. Dr. Alfred Amisa Cueco. Dr. Gopi Rao. Dr. Ashley Rector. Dr. Marissa Teresa Riley. Dr. Christopher Paul Richard. Dr. John Roberts. Dr. Glenn Robison. Dr. Marco Antonio Romo. Dr. Emily Joy Donahue Group. Dr. Harleen Sani. Dr. Shravya Sakanala. Dr. Chloe Sabino. Dr. John Michael Scalise. Dr. Alexandra Akopkina Schmidley. Dr. Avery Elise Schnell. Dr. Tamara Deanne Scott. Dr. Sayuri Sakamitsu. Dr. Jerry Shen. Dr. Grace Shin. Dr. Vaughn Skinker. Dr. Emily Catherine Smith. Dr. Michael Ryan Snyder. Dr. Alexia Soteropoulos. Dr. Samara Stewart Spence. Dr. Matthew David Speedy. Dr. Nathan Stack. Dr. Julia Lynn Swarthout. Dr. Douglas Tan. Dr. Stephanie Marie Tate. Dr. Shantiera Nicole Taylor. Dr. Omar Trad. Dr. Miranda Singh. Dr. Nicholas Peter Verdini. Dr. Jocelyn C. Vong. Dr. Garfield O'Brien Walker. Dr. Royu Wong. Dr. Alyssa Christine Wolfhard. Dr. Jason Yanis. And Dr. Sharmitha Yurnani.
Diplomas will now be presented to the degree candidates of the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. Will the candidates for the degree of Master of Science please proceed to the stage to receive their diplomas? Dean ad interim Michael Chin will now present diplomas to the candidates who have completed the Master of Science degree program. Dr. Amy Shen, Associate Professor of Molecular Microbiology, will announce the candidate's name.
Anna Marie Burke. Wen Hui Li. Young Liu. Peiwen Song. Suraj Verma. Shivam Vij. Halen Jen.
Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please rise and proceed to the stage to receive their diplomas? Dean Chin will now present diplomas to the candidates who have completed the Doctor of Philosophy degree program. Dr. Carl Munger, Vice Dean for Research, and the PhD faculty advisor will hood each candidate.
Dr. Rebecca Evelyn Brown. Dr. Kristen Davis. Dr. Efrat Hamami. Dr. Sarah Elise Hewer. Dr. Jacob William Hopkins. Dr. Salwa Mustafa. Dr. Archana Nagarajan. Dr. Callan W. O'Connor. Dr. Urmila Pawale. Dr. Bethany J. Rennick. Dr. Christian Rausa. Dr. Logan Sari Schwartz. Dr. Shailab Darshan Shrestha, who I have the honor of hooding myself. Dr. Sasha A. Smolgovsky. Dr. Eric Tabou. Dr. Nicholas G. Tolman. Dr. Colin J. Trabicchio.
Will the candidates for the combined degree of Doctor of Medicine and Doctor of Philosophy please rise and proceed to the stage to receive their diplomas? Dean Boucher and Dean Shin will now present the diplomas to the candidates who have completed the combined Doctor of Medicine and Doctor of Philosophy degree program. Dean Kulik and the PhD faculty advisor will hood each candidate.
Dr. Volter Anastas. Dr. Daniel Heller Truly. Dr. Jonathan Daniel Louie. Dr. Zemplin Pataki. Dr. Sharon C. Wu.
Will the recipients of the Doctor of Medicine degree program please rise for the administration of the modern Hippocratic Oath? This oath was written by the late Dr. Louis Lasagna, Dean Emeritus of the Graduate School of Biomedical Science and Professor of Pharmacology and Experimental Therapeutics at the School of Medicine. The oath will be led by Dr. Libby Bradshaw, this year's recipient of the Dean's Outstanding Mentor Award. For those who wish to follow along, the oath is printed on the inside of the Commencement program insert.
Dr. Lou Lasagna was a very powerful intellect, and he gives us this oath. Many schools use it around the country. He was a compassionate physician, but also an excellent scientist. He's one of the founders of the randomized control trial methodology. And so I think that taking this to heart is an important process in your education, and I hope that has meaning for you, as it has had for those of us who knew him and have recited this oath in previous years. So please repeat after me. I swear to fulfill, to the best of my ability and judgment, this covenant. I will respect the hard-won scientific gains of those physicians in whose steps I walk, and gladly share such knowledge as is mine with those who are to follow. I will apply for the benefit of the sick all measures which are required, avoiding those twin traps of overtreatment and therapeutic nihilism. I will remember that there is an art to medicine as well as science. And that warmth, sympathy, and understanding may outweigh the surgeon's knife or the chemist's drug. I will not be ashamed to say I know not. Nor will I fail to call in my colleagues when the skills of another are needed for a patient's recovery. I will respect the privacy of my patients, for their problems are not disclosed to me that the world may know. Most especially must I tread with care in matters of life and death. I will remember that I do not treat a fever chart or a cancerous growth. But a sick human being whose illness may affect the person's family and economic stability. My responsibility includes these related problems. If I am to care adequately for the sick. I will prevent disease whenever I can. For prevention is preferable to cure. I will remember that I remain a member of society with special obligations to all my human fellow beings, those sound of mind and body as well as the infirm. If If I do not violate this oath, may I enjoy life and art. Respected while I live and remembered with affection thereafter. May I always act so as to preserve the finest traditions of my calling. And may I long experience the joy of healing those who seek my help. You may sit.
Thank you, Dr. Bradshaw, and thank you to all who made today's celebration so beautiful. Special thanks to Deans Kulik, Bacher Lind, Matthias, and their incredible teams. This year was a harder year than ever, and they made today absolutely beautiful for us. Let's give them a round of applause. Graduates, before we process, I have one last request. I would like you to stand and recognize your family, loved ones, and friends. Please stand and turn and face them, and let's give them a sign of our love. Thank you.